Hi, I'm Mark, developer of the HeroQuest Card Creator, and I'd like to demonstrate some of the features that I'm working on that should make their way into 0.5.3. There are two features I'd like to demonstrate. The first is the extension and enhanced pairing UI, and the second is some enhancements to the labelled back card, which I'm hoping gives control over how your card backs look. Let's dive straight in with pairing. So when I first built pairing in 0.5.2, I really did it because I was keen to see this. I knew that we had the ability to create front cards and we had the ability to create back cards, and I guess it was inevitable that at some point we'd need to pair them, especially with features that are coming such as PDF export and printing. So this was as good of a time as any to implement this. In 5.2, pairing was a little crude, and it was just enough to get something out and demonstrate the concept and let you guys start pairing cards. In this version, I wanted to tidy that up because it dawned on me that pairing, what we're really doing is we're creating sets. Now in some cases, or in most cases, you're generally creating a back like this and you're pairing it with many fronts. My card here is the treasure card. It's a custom treasure card I've created to allow me to extend the treasure that is available to find beyond the base game. And I've created many fronts and one back. But in some situations you might have a card front that belongs to many backs. For example, I have in my treasure deck, I have a number of cards that should be found when you search, but also the player would like to keep in their inventory. For example, we might find potions, artifacts, or treasure, or weapons and armour. So the mechanics that I would like to incorporate would be to have a deck of cards incorporating a treasure set, and then as the player finds those items, we can look in the other sets such as armour and potions, and those cards can sit with the player. So the work that I did in 0.5.3 was to extend on that idea and allow you to pair many fronts with many backs and vice versa. If we look at the pairing for this card right now, you'll see I have 45 front-facing cards, and you can straight away see that some of these cards are things like charms and weapons and armor, and what else do we have? We've got gems and stones and other things. The first thing I did was to tidy up this pairing view. Initially I had cards at the top, but I've moved this now into its own contained kind of section within the form inspector. At the top now we've got the two options, properties and pairing. Let's start by selecting a card, see if I can pick a one that is actually paired. We can go with Elven Cloak. Yeah, brilliant, good choice. So Elven Cloak, we have this in treasure and we also have it in armour. If I click it in armour, let's just click the armour card, you can see that we're looking at the back, and in this particular set has 3 front-facing cards. And if I rotate it, you can see we've got Elven Cloak. This is the card that the user would put in their inventory. They would hold it with them while they're playing the game, maybe across multiple quests. But when I look at the front-facing card, I've also got it in treasure. And that's because I wanted it in the treasure set, so that as the searching rooms, we can find that card in the treasure set. So that's what this problem solves. Let me see if I can find another. Yep, so we have this cursed coin, and the cursed coin is in the treasure set, but it also exists in charms. So I can keep all of my charms, coins, that kind of thing. If we look at this, for example, we've got the lucky charm. I can keep those cards in a set. Let's just demonstrate this a little further. I'll add 2 more cards. We'll open up charms, and we're going to duplicate it. I'm not going to duplicate with pairing because I don't want these cards to be in. So I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to call this, let's call it relics. We'll save that. So we now have our relics card. It's not paired with anything just yet. I'm going to change the image. So I might already have this card in. Let's do a search. Relics. No, I don't. But you can see some of the front faces I want to pair. So I'm going to upload the back artwork, relics. And now we'll do a quick search for it. There it is. So straight away we've got our relics card. I'm going to turn the border off because I'm not a fan of it. And now we have our relics card. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair this relics card with some of the cards that are in the treasure deck. So I hit this pair button, and we can move down to the collection I already have, which collects all these cards together, and we'll start looking for some relics. The mirror, Haunted Mirror is a relic. That's a lost relic. We'll put that in. What else do we have? We might not have many, but I'm going to put them in anyway. I think the Devil's Horn could be considered a relic. And yeah, I think that's about it. Not many, but a few. So we're going to confirm that. It's just telling me that it's paired with others, which is fine. I need to remove this message unpaired because you're not really unpairing it anymore. So now we have our back facing card and we have the 3 cards in this set. You can click on this card here, Haunted Mirror, and you'll see Haunted Mirror is in the treasure deck, but it's also in relics and it's in artifacts. I think I'm going to remove it from artifacts. So if I remove it, let's just open this up. You can see what else do we have? Ancient Medallion, Lost Relic. That's interesting. I wonder why I put it in there. I'm going to remove this card. We're on the front facing card. I'm going to remove it from artifacts. So there you go. We now have this card front facing Haunted Mirror, and it's in treasure and relics. If I go back to treasure and look for the, what was it? The Lost Relic, and view that one, now you'll see that Lost Relic is indeed in relics and artifacts and treasure. So hopefully you can see what's happening here. Back faces are used to create sets, and front cards can be put into multiple sets, and back cards can contain multiple front cards. It's just a nice way to organize these cards, and this leads on to another feature which I'm going to be working on, which I'm going to call decks. Decks extends on top of sets. The idea being that any given deck can have multiple sets. So in this example I've given, I want a custom deck which has treasure cards, but I also want that deck to have these inventory cards as well. And the idea will be that once you've paired all of your cards into your sets, you can then create a deck and pull in a lot of those sets, which will hopefully lead into the final feature of this, which ties the whole workflow together. Once you have a deck, I'm hoping to have a one-click button which will export the whole deck in PDF format with bleed, with guidelines, with all of the cards laid out on a grid, duplex, so that you can export your deck in one print. Export obviously still exists in the UI. You can export a single card, you can export both faces, and if I click the treasure card, we can export the active face, which you see here, or we can export all. So that feature still exists. You can do the same in collections, but I really want to finish the workflow. I want to have decks and I want to have print. And I think at that point, this tool really is almost finished, maybe technically finished. So that's the first feature that I want to demonstrate. I'll demonstrate the other feature in another video and share it with you soon.